Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news today at noon, President Trump will reportedly pull the United States out of the Paris climate deal, a decision that will have global ramifications. ABC's Lana Zak is in Washington with the latest.
President Trump is likely to drop out of the Paris Climate Accord. That's according to a senior White House official who cautions that no final decision has been made. If the president decides to go this route, the U.S. would join just Syria and Nicaragua in opposing the agreement. The United States under the Obama administration helped lead the charge on the landmark climate deal. 197 countries joined, including all of the top 5 nations responsible for CO2 emissions. China, Russia, India, and Japan. The U.S. is number 2. And if the U.S. pulls out, other countries who had previously agreed to participate may follow.
We're going to cancel the Paris Climate Agreement.
On the campaign trail, Mr. Trump lobbied against the deal, even tweeting that global warming was a hoax. And as president, he has unraveled other Obama-era regulations.
My administration is putting an end to the war on coal.
And as recently as yesterday, White House spokesman Sean Spicer was asked if the president believes human activity contributes to the warming of the climate.
Honestly, I haven't asked him.
On the European leg of his trip, the president was heavily lobbied by the Pope and other world leaders, but his tweet today echoes his standard America First message, writing, "I will be announcing my decision on the Paris Accord over the next few days. Make America great again." The question now, does the president's goal of making America great work in harmony with an effort to make the planet great? The president is still being lobbied to remain in the Paris Agreement, including by some members of his administration and even some members of his own party, including the Florida delegation, for whom rising sea levels could have catastrophic implications. Lana Zak, ABC News, Washington.
And developing this afternoon, the death toll from a suicide bombing in the Afghanistan capital of Kabul continues to rise. At least 90 people are reported dead, 400 others injured. The massive truck bomb went off today during rush hour near the British and German embassies, just a mile from the U.S. embassy. Plumes of smoke could be seen rising hours after the attack. The U.S. is condemning the bombing. So far, no group has taken responsibility, including ISIS and the Taliban, who have been behind recent attacks in the country. Here on the Suncoast, community leaders in Sarasota heard a presentation this morning about a 2-year-old project in Orlando to help the homeless. The program is run by a Sarasota native. ABC 7's Ray Collins joins us with details of this large-scale initiative. Ray?
Scott, Tim Johnson played football for Sarasota High School, Penn State's national championship team, and won a Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins. And now he's a senior pastor for the Orlando World Outreach Center. For the past 2 years, he and his colleagues there have put on a massive event to help the homeless. He made a presentation this morning to community leaders at the Alderman Oaks Retirement Center in Sarasota.
We had 120 organizations, government, nonprofit, service providers, faith community, actually come together at the Camping World Stadium in Orlando and serve thousands of individuals in need.
I am excited with the legal community getting involved with regard to restoration of driver's licenses and removing barriers to employment, with individual companies saying that I will give an exemption to people who come through your organization that have criminal barriers. I'll give them jobs. That's the partnership that's necessary. So I'm all in.
We'll have much more on this program called He Got Up in our evening newscasts. Scott?
All right, Ray, thank you. In Northport, a man is arrested for allegedly exposing himself to a school bus with children and teachers on board. Sheriff's deputies arresting 57-year-old Stephen Pfeiffer. Investigators say 2 teachers and 4 students from Cranberry Elementary School were on the way to Riverview High School in Sarasota for a field trip. That's when Pfeiffer is accused of driving alongside the bus and exposing himself. Teachers took a photo of Pfeiffer's car and called deputies. He's charged with 4 counts of lewd and lascivious behavior to a victim under 16 years old and 2 counts of indecent exposure. An update on a brush fire burning in rural Charlotte County. As of this afternoon, the fire is 80% contained in the Babcock Ranch area. The flames started Friday. It's now burned at least 160 acres. Lightning is believed to have sparked the fire. No structures are threatened at this time. And don't forget to tune in to ABC 7 tomorrow for our annual hurricane special. You'll get all the information you need to be fully prepared for the hurricane season, which starts tomorrow. We'll be taking your calls with experts here to answer your storm-related questions. The hour-long special airs tomorrow at 7 o'clock. NASA announcing plans to aim a spacecraft straight for the sun next year. The Solar Probe Plus is scheduled to launch next summer. It will fly within 4 million miles of the sun's surface, right into the solar atmosphere. The proximity will subject the spacecraft to brutal heat and radiation like no other man-made structure before it. The probe's purpose is to study the sun's outer atmosphere and better understand how stars like ours work and benefit from the sun's heat.
Wow.
Big globe of fire.
Yeah, you wonder how they get that close.
I know.
Maybe they'll go at night. We have, I'm looking forward to the hurricane special. That should be
Yes, so am I. 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
tomorrow night, right? And you get to call in, which is the amazingly wonderful thing, and ask your personal questions of a whole bank filled with experts, and they will answer your question very personally and tailored to your particular needs. So how often do you get that opportunity,
Not
right?
too often, yeah.
Not too often. So it's a good thing. Tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. We have across the region right now a lot of blue sky and a little bit of fair weather clouds. Not a lot of rainfall chance along the coastline again today. It's going to be a hot one. Daytime highs will top out near the 90 mark. Then as we head into the next couple of days, I think we'll maybe be able to up our rain chances just a little bit. Titan radar right now checking out the peninsula and not finding too much going on, at least not over land. There's a lot of showery activity out in Gulf waters and an indication of the moisture trying to lift northward. There's been a fair amount of cloud cover, high thin clouds for the most part, that mix away pretty efficiently as the sun starts to heat the area. We'll look for a daytime high that tops out similar to yesterday, and we'll look for about a 20% chance of showers close to the coast. Inland, you can just about double that rain chance, but those showers are not going to move all that much, so the coast doesn't benefit so much. Over the next several days, some changes in the forecast. We'll talk about that coming up in a few. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. New this afternoon, a blow to shoppers and lovers of high-end retailer Michael Kors. The company is announcing it's closing 100 to 125 of its stores. Declining revenue is being blamed. There's no word yet on which stores are being affected. Michael Kors operates more than 900 retail stores around the world, 340 here in the U.S., and there are 2 right here on the Suncoast. Refunds are now available for parents whose kids made in-app purchases without their knowledge on Amazon. This includes buying upgrades and mobile games purchased through the App Store. Last year, a court found Amazon responsible for items kids bought without parents' permission. Amazon did not provide enough disclosures or ask parents to approve the purchases children made. They also didn't require a password. According to the Federal Trade Commission, more than $70 million in charges may be eligible for refunds. Apple and Google refunded their customers whose kids made unknown purchases 3 years ago. The upcoming project on Anna Maria Island may slow your commute just a bit. Crews will be replacing aging sewer and water pipes on a 2-mile stretch of Gulf Drive and some side roads from Cortez Road West and Bradenton Beach north to Manatee Avenue West and Holmes Beach. Preliminary work began this week, and the construction portion of the project should begin in a few weeks. Officials say the pipes are around 50 years old and are reaching the end of their life expectancy.
It's going to disturb the island, and that's why I'm here, to find out how much. But by the same token, without water and sewer, I think most people would put up with the noise.
They should know ahead of time if we're going to be in their neighborhood or community. And yes, there will be lane closures, there will be some detour routes in place, and so you got to allow extra time for that and just be patient when you're out there.
The pipe replacement project will be more than $7 million, and it's expected to take around 2 years to complete, but should be finished by the summer of 2019. New at noon, a Manatee County restaurant is offering more than just food this summer. The owners of Anna Maria Oyster Bar are launching a summer reading program for incoming 3rd graders in Manatee County. The kids are enrolled in the county's Camp Rise summer program and struggle with reading. About 60 volunteers are needed to help them once a week for the next 4 weeks in June. The goal is to act as mentors and help improve their reading skills. The restaurant will offer breakfast and free books for the program that are provided by an anonymous donor. The reading program will kick off on Monday. Volunteers have until then to sign up. This, by the way, is the last day of school in Manatee County. Let's get over to the kitchen now and check in with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher for the first time. Hi, Judy.
Hi, Scott. Well, I figure with this heat and humidity, I'm just going to celebrate New England summers because this is a traditional meal that we had probably every week. And thanks to my son, Eric Williams, a chef, who said, Mom, it's time for you to take out that clam recipe with chorizo or pancetta, where you steam the corn and the potatoes right in there with a good IPA beer. And that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to make some blue cheese garlic bread to dip in there and just enjoy all the goodness. So stay with me throughout the hour. We're cooking up a New England clam bake.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
For the last decade, S&S Motorsports of Sarasota has built custom high-performance vehicles for demanding clients worldwide. They're now bringing their 50-plus years of combined build expertise to the parts business. SRQ Performance Parts is your one-stop shop for all your performance parts and accessories.
Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
We're looking at air temperatures outside that are already pretty steamy at 88 degrees, which is about exactly where we were yesterday, and which led us to a temperature of about 91. That's pretty much where we are today. Dew point values have now risen once again back into the 70s. It feels kind of humid and kind of sticky out there. Southwest wind comes in at about 13. A lot of sunshine, but we have some high clouds kind of stream through from time to time. And we'll see building clouds in inland areas a little bit later on in the day as the west coast sea breeze begins to build and move inland, kind of collides with a general southeasterly wind flow. Temperatures across the region, 91 already in Wauchula, Myakka, 90 in Arcadia, 89 Punta Gorda, 88 in Northport, 89 in Parrish, Lakewood Ranch, almost at the 90 mark in a lot of locations and exceeding it in some. 91 degrees in Bradenton, 88 in Sarasota, 87 in Venice, 86 in Inglewood. Forecast will call for increasing moisture lifting northward, streaming up across the state of Florida due to that southerly component to the wind. Now we have a few locations through the deep south and in the coastal Atlantic where there are little motions in the atmosphere that cause the warm, moist air to rise. And when that happens, you get the showers in effect. We have a frontal boundary that kind of meanders through parts of the deep south, and we had a little trough of low pressure that existed as well. That's still there, but it's in the process of decay. Over the state of Florida, we still have a big ridge of high pressure, but that's kind of moving out into the Atlantic just below the periphery of this frontal boundary located north. Now, what that is going to serve to do is to change our wind direction. We've already started to establish a southeasterly wind. We certainly have a southerly component. And by tomorrow, we'll solidly be in a southeasterly wind flow. That's bringing the moisture up and kind of setting the stage for a few scattered showers, mostly east of the interstate today. And they're not going to move all that much, though right now, things are pretty quiet out there. We need the rain. Fire danger indexes continue to rise across the region. Remember, this fire danger index shows you what the likelihood is of a particular county to have a fire start and then go out of control and require professional suppression. Manatee County still in the very high category, but in Sarasota, where yesterday it was forecast to be in the low category, it has now risen into the moderate category. And many locations are already in the high. So the bottom line is we still need a lot of rainfall in order to reduce our chances of wildfire. And over the course of the next several days, we may get some of that beneficial rain. High pressure will scoot into the Atlantic. It'll continue to do that through the day today. Southeasterly wind will establish itself so that the showers that form on the sea breeze front, as is typical of our Florida weather, will be steered back toward the coastline. As it's steered back toward the coastline, we start to get a drift of those showers toward the coast that'll give everyone beneficial rainfall chances. So, forecast for today calls for basically kind of a dry day near the coast, 20% chance of rain, but you can double that inland with some storms that won't move very much. Then over the next several days, we'll put those storms on the move them back toward the coastline, and our rain chances will go up for everyone to about 50% on Friday and Saturday. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. 2 recalls to tell you about involving nuts. The brands are Simply Truth dry roasted macadamia nuts and Ava's organic cashews roasted and salted. Both are being recalled because of possible listeria contamination. Macadamia nuts were not sold here in Florida. The cashews have a best by date of April 28, 2018. No illnesses have been reported in either recall. Those with Medicare should be getting new cards soon. The government is planning to replace Social Security numbers on Medicare cards with randomly generated digits and letters. The change is to protect seniors against identity theft. The massive transition will take at least 2 years to meet a federal 2019 deadline. Medicare says beneficiaries and their families should start seeing changes by next April. That's when the agency will start mailing out the new cards to more than 57 million elderly and disabled people. A prestigious honor for Sarasota Memorial Hospital. Facility has been named a Center of Excellence for Hip and Knee Replacements. The honor was given by DNV GL Healthcare USA Incorporated. That's one of the nation's leading hospital accrediting organizations. To earn the recognition, hospitals must exceed the guidelines of the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons and the American Association of Hip and Knee Surgeons. Earlier this year, Sarasota Memorial was ranked as America's highest performing safety net hospital for total hip and knee replacements. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a late night standoff takes place at Orlando International Airport between police and a man with a fake gun. And a Siesta Key Beach is now ready for the summer. Those stories and more when we come back.
These are our heroes. They have sacrificed so much to serve our country. And now Granny Nannies is truly honored to serve them. We're here and we're ready to help. Call us today.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. back. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction Hope and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. The official Suncoast Storm team at ABC7. We're here for you.
At Granny Nannies, we provide your loved ones with the care they deserve, compassionate and experienced help right where you need it most, at home. Visit us at grannynannies.com.
A helping hand and a gentle heart.
Last night, the Rays had a 5-2 lead in the 7th, but lost it on an Elvis Andrus 3-run home run. The bullpen then gave up 4 more runs in the 8th inning as the Rangers go on to win it 9-5. Rays starter Matt Andriese left the game in the 2nd inning with a mild groin strain. Tampa Bay's Corey Dickerson, though, continues to hit just about everything, including a pitch that bounced in the dirt. He turned that into a double. Dickerson leads the American League with a .346 average and is tied with the major league lead with 72 hits. Only 2 Americans on the men's side remain at the French Open. They're John Isner, who has advanced to the 2nd round of the tourney, and number 25 seeded Steve Johnson, who won today and is now in the 3rd round. This is the first time since 2011 that as few as 2 Americans advanced to the 2nd round in Paris. 11 men from the United States entered the main draw. Late owner Malcolm Glazer and Super Bowl winning head coach John Gruden will be the latest inductees into the Tampa Bay Bucs Ring of Honor this season. Glazer will be honored during the team's Thursday Night Football home game against the New England Patriots on October 5th. And Gruden will be inducted on December 18th during halftime of the team's Monday Night Football contest against the Atlanta Falcons. Let's get back to the kitchen now and check on lunch with Chef Judy Gallagher.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I've rinsed my clams off really well. Now, whenever you pick up clams, if they feel like they're extra sandy, you can put them in very cold water with half a cup of cornmeal. And what happens is the clams actually ingest the cornmeal and they burp out the sand. But rinsing them really well is going to help as well. Never leave them in plastic if you're using them later in the day or at night. Make sure the netting is free right on the shelf with a little crushed ice in your refrigerator. So I have browned some pancetta. You can also use diced chorizo, and it now comes in small packs of already diced at the fresh market. So that's going to make it really good. I left a few pieces in there because we want to bring out the extra flavor. Now I'm going to add some leeks. Traditionally, I'll just use onions and water and steam those clams away. But I'm bringing this up to a Suncoast level now, so we're gonna really get this flavor. We have a little fat from the pancetta on the bottom, so that's gonna really help with the flavor. We're gonna let this saute probably for about, 4 minutes. You don't wanna brown the onions and leeks, but you definitely wanna get them a little translucent. Start to get them tender, then we'll add some cut red potatoes. This makes it more of an entree. Let's talk about the bread. Fresh baguette from this morning. Then I'm gonna take some sliced garlic, fresh garlic, and I'm gonna just kind of gently mix it in and spread it on the bread. I cut the bread down in half and then I just cut them in quarter loaves because you want this dish you want to look rustic. So you just want to give everybody a nice long piece of the crusty bread, right? With the garlic. So we're going to stick this in the oven and start to brown this up. Just a hint of salt will go on it as well. Still plenty of garlic to go here. And then later on when we come back, I'm gonna sprinkle some blue cheese, and that's gonna just bring that level up just a little bit. So a little salt, always using really like either an Irish butter or a French butter, grass-fed butter. It's gonna give the flavor so much more. So once this sautés some more, we can go ahead and start to layer our potatoes. The potatoes need to cook probably about 8 minutes before we add the clams. So when you come back, it's time for the clams, some IPA, and a few more cooking tips for your next clam bake. Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Grandma, can you come out and play?
Sure, Ellie. Oh my, you might want to come here and help Grandma.
What's the matter, Grandma? Can't you stand?
Oh, sorry, honey. It's my knees. They don't work the way they used to.
Does this ever happen to you? Are you on Medicare? You may qualify for a pain-relieving knee brace at little or no cost to you. Call the Health Hotline to see if you qualify. Our friendly agents are standing by 24/7 to help you. We also have braces for your shoulder, ankle, or back pain. And if you're covered by Medicare, you may qualify for free delivery.
Grandma, slow down. I can't keep up.
Maybe you can use a knee brace too, Ellie. Catch me if you can, kiddo.
Call now to get your pain-relieving knee brace.
Operators are standing by. Call 855-828-0086. That's 855-828-0086. Again, 855-828-0086. That's 855-828-0086.
Keep up with your investments and market trends by watching the ABC7 Stock Report. Get a recap of all the day's stock market activity. Be sure to watch your Suncoast News at 6 for the ABC7 Stock Report, sponsored by Sunset Cadillac. Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. Chaos at Orlando International Airport last night after police say a man pulled out what appeared to be a real gun and pointed it at officers. The gunman was a mentally distressed former Marine who told officers he wanted to speak to the president. ABC's David Curley has the story.
The man with what appears to be a gun overnight starts a nearly 3-hour standoff at the Orlando International Airport. Hundreds of police officers descending at an airport rental car lot.
Hey guys, quickly get out of there.
They cornered the suspect as officers seen in this YouTube video crouched behind pillars, evacuating civilians, and quickly realized the suspect is attempting a suicide by cop.
The subject made several comments, pointed the firearm at the officers, said, shoot me, actually pointed the gun at his head, imploring the officers to shoot him.
Police say the suspect, 26-year-old Michael Pettigrew, is a former Marine.
Officers were able to get him to drop the weapon. From that point, he was in this area. He laid down on the ground with the gun very close by. It was a simulated firearm. The gun was not real.
Police say because that gun was so close to the suspect, that's why they took their time to finally arrest him. The suspect was taken to a hospital for evaluation. The Orlando airport says that the incident did not affect operations. David Curley, ABC News, Reagan National Airport.
Also in Orlando, a Walt Disney employee is arrested for impersonating an FBI agent. Orange County deputies say 26-year-old Brett Michael Smith pulled over a woman near SeaWorld's Aquatica water park on Saturday after she hit an orange traffic cone and didn't stop. Deputies say Smith walked up to her car, flashed a badge saying he worked for the FBI. but a deputy was nearby. It turns out Smith bought that badge for Halloween. He was arrested on one count of falsely impersonating an officer. Several shootings in Miami over the Memorial Day weekend are sparking changes there. The Miami Beach mayor is proposing a restriction on alcohol and noise. This would include banning alcohol sales after 2 a.m. and removing the exemption bars and clubs on Ocean Drive have to project noise. 3 people were shot over the weekend. 2 of those men were shot by another after arguing over a parking spot.
Unfortunately, Ocean Drive is attracting a bad clientele of folks that want to party all night, go crazy, and disrespect our city. And as I also said, this is all year round. By the way, it happens during Art Basel. It happens during any event in our city. It has nothing to do with Memorial Day weekend.
The mayor also stressing that the city is not banning any demographic or group of people from the area and says the measures being proposed are all to ensure safety. Sarasota County is making sure one of Siesta Key's most popular beaches is ready for the summer crowds. ABC 7's Jacqueline Matter has more on how you can enjoy its new family-friendly features. Jacqueline?
Good afternoon, Scott. Renovations at Turtle Beach Park are now complete, and that's great news for those looking for a more active lifestyle while enjoying some fun in the sun this summer. The new additions include redesigned playgrounds, kayak landings, a parking lot with 35 additional spaces, covered picnic areas, and new sidewalks. The project actually came in under budget, and the new playground can accommodate up to 40 children at one time. Officials at today's renovation celebration say the nearly $640,000 in new features will be enjoyed by locals and visitors alike.
This park had been in need of some improvements, and this is more of a locals beach. It's a wonderful opportunity for our local citizens and visitors, of course, to come here and kind of relax. This is a little bit more off the beaten path, and it allows for a more relaxed experience.
Siesta Key Beach was recently named the #1 beach in America, and with today's reveal, Sarasota County Parks and Rec say it's been a good couple of weeks for the area. Back to you, Scott.
It sure has. Turtle Beach, a great spot. We launch our paddleboards down there quite often and just head down the lagoon there. It's a great spot. I mean,
very
not
nice
only for the beach, but you know,
nice quiet place to launch.
Yeah,
waters are calm there. Yeah, it's good.
Nice.
It's very pretty. Plus, you can get a great hamburger out there too. By the way, we'll talk about that.
Oh,
later.
I know where you're talking.
You know
about.
what I mean,
I've
right?
been
Yeah.
there,
Oh,
yeah.
it's good. We have across the region today some pretty decent weather. We had some high clouds kind of move by from time to time. Some fair weather clouds beginning to build in inland areas. Not much in the way of any kind of rainfall potential for the coastline, but inland there's a chance at some showers, about a 30% chance. I think in the next couple of hours we'll probably see a few showers begin to build in inland locations. They're not going to move very fast. They're not going to move very far. But over the next several days they will, I think, and we'll maybe get a chance at some better coastal showers as that happens. Generally speaking, the entire peninsula is pretty dry, except way back in the Panhandle might see a few more showers around today. We had some high clouds caused by the blow-off of those showers back to the west, but they're really pretty benign clouds. They're keeping the temperatures about where we anticipated they would be today, which is near the 90-degree mark. Again, a warm one. Humidity starting to increase as well, making it feel a little stickier this afternoon, perhaps, than 24 hours ago. Changes over the next several days are actually kind of beneficial. We'll talk about that coming up in a few. Scott.
All right, John, thank you. It was a first-of-its-kind missile intercept test. The U.S. successfully stopping a mock long-range missile in space. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the story.
Ignition.
It was the first of its kind in history, a successful live-fire intercept test of an intercontinental ballistic missile.
The difficulty with an ICBM is that it goes up into outer space.
Former Marine fighter pilot, now ABC News contributor, Colonel Steve Ganyard says this success is a remarkable achievement.
Truly rocket science in every sense of the word.
The mock warhead was fired from an island in the Pacific. Then more than 4,000 miles away at Vandenberg Air Base in California, the Interceptor, or kill vehicle, was launched from an underground silo. Within an hour, the 5-foot-long Interceptor hits its mark, destroying the ICBM somewhere over the Pacific. The whole process is the equivalent of hitting a speeding bullet traveling 4 miles a second with another speeding bullet. This critical, successful attempt by the U.S. comes at an equally critical time, as North Korea has successfully launched its 9th missile this year, one just this week that their state media claims was more precise than ever before. And now that the U.S. has showed what it's capable of, Colonel Ganyard says North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, will have to think twice before attacking.
If the U.S. could shoot down a missile that he shot at the United States, he would know that there would be an immediate response and that his missile would fail.
Now, it's important to note that this test happened under ideal conditions and it was planned well in advance. If this was a real-life situation, it would prove much more challenging. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
People on social media have been trying to figure out the meaning of one of President Trump's latest tweets. Just before midnight last night, the president tweeted out this post saying, quote, "Despite the constant negative press, Kov Fifi." And then he followed up with another tweet around 6 o'clock this morning saying, quote, "Who can figure out the true meaning of Kov Fifi? Enjoy." It appears to be an unfinished tweet with a typo, but no one noticed at the White House for nearly 6 hours. Nevertheless, the hashtag has been the #1 trend worldwide on Twitter, and there's already Kov Fifi, if that's how you say it, shirts and hats available for sale. Of course there are. As America's brightest kids compete in the National Spelling Bee, Google has released its list of America's most misspelled words by state this year. Here in Florida, it is receipt. Pneumonia topped the chart in 3 different states, Alabama, Maine, and Washington state. And even more people are having trouble with the word beautiful in 5 states, California, Kentucky, Minnesota, Ohio, and New York. Other words that made the list were schedule, tomorrow, and vacuum. How about that? Let's get over to the kitchen and see how lunch is coming along with ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher. Judy?
Okay, we're ready for the clams. I have, as you can see in the pot, the potatoes have started to cook well. So now it's going to be really fun. We're going to take these clams, like I said, I've rinsed them twice in cold water, and they weren't that sandy, which is good. So I didn't need to do the process of the cornmeal. Pick these right up at the seafood counter at Fresh Market. I also noticed Detweiler's has them. Always make sure you're looking for fresh, you want to know where the clams are from, fresh clams. And if there's any type of odor other than salt water, that's not the clam for you. So now let's do layers of flavor. We're going to take a nice IPA, pour about 3/4 of a bottle right in there. Now we're going to get some fennel, and we're using the top part of the fennel fond. So what I did is I saved the bulb of the fennel. That'll be for a great orange fennel salad, maybe tomorrow. Now I'm going to take the corn on the cob, and of course, if you've ever been to a true New England clam bake, you got the lobsters in there, and then they cover it with seaweed. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add just a little bit of water, and when you add the water, what's going to happen is that's going to just steam into this beautiful broth. We're going to cover it now. We're going to steam them. It's going to take, hard to tell, about 6 to 7 minutes for the clams to open. We'll keep an eye out. In the meantime, I've taken the bread out of the oven, and that's brushed with that beautiful French butter and garlic, and you can see those pieces of garlic. You want them kind of chunky. I threw in the equivalent about 1 bulb of garlic in the pot with the clams as well, because I love garlic. Okay, this is going to go back into the oven just to let that blue cheese bubble up. Some recipes you'll notice, especially from gastropubs, will actually top mussels or clams with blue cheese. I tend not to really like any type of cheese with any type of seafood or fish. So I'm going to just leave that on the side. So I'm going to check the heat on this. It's on high, so that's good. It's going to take a minute with the water to really start getting it to steam, but we are just about ready. Now, I haven't forgotten about our pancetta. I put it over here in a separate pan, and I'm going to add that as a garnish in the very end with a little fresh parsley, and then we're going to be ready to go. This dish is so delicious and rich. All you have to do is serve some of the liquid from the pot to rinse off your clams, which I'll show you when we feed John Scalzi lunch. But you're not going to need butter. It's just basted in goodness. I'll be back in a few minutes for the taste.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline. If you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death, you must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Let me introduce you to the ultimate Florida window. Do you feel safer with this or this? You'll be proud too.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get 1 more free. Call today.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Toasty outside, coming in still at 88 degrees, dew point value, cracking the 70 mark at 71. I can feel kind of sticky out there. Got a little bit of high-level clouds out there and some building inland clouds as well. Southwest wind coming in at about 13, continuing to pump moisture, spread moisture across the peninsula. That southerly component will be with us throughout the afternoon. Southwest and then switching back to, I think, to southeast tomorrow. We have 91 in Wauchula, Arcadia, 90, 91 in Mayaca, 90 in Parrish, 92 already in Bradenton, 90 at Lakewood Ranch, 89 degrees in Northport and in Punta Gorda as well. We have 86 degrees in Inglewood, 87 in Venice, 84 degrees at Longboat Key with the onshore wind flow, kind of keeping things just a tad bit cooler than inland areas. So we have a frontal boundary that kind of meanders through parts of the deep south with little areas of low pressure and enhanced rainfall on that frontal boundary that's really not moving all that much. It's going to pretty much be stuck there. And then that southwesterly wind flow coming up around an area of high pressure that sits in the Atlantic is producing a deep kind of plume of moisture that's filling up the atmosphere at lower levels across the state of Florida. It's going to help lead to a couple of showers and thunderstorms a little later on, I suspect, in inland areas mostly during the maximum heating of the day in the second half of the afternoon. Not much going on right now in terms of any radar echoes across the region, so it looks pretty quiet. But I think by drive time tonight, we'll see a little bit more action. There are a couple of hot spots across the nation. One, an area of low pressure kind of spinning around just off the New York City coast is going to produce the potential of some severe weather. Pretty far east today, down East Maine and stretching down through the tri-state region of New York, and then back to the west near Kansas City again today. Another chance at some severe weather there, pretty much in exactly the same spot as it was yesterday. The rest of the country, if it sees any kind of inclement weather, will be mostly in the form of your standard thunderstorms. That's certainly true of the state of Florida. Not looking here at anything severe, or hardly looking at anything in the way of rainfall. But over the next several days, we will increase those chances for showers. We'll increase them for along the west coast of Florida because that high pressure ridge is going to kind of move a little bit further to the east, build in the Atlantic right now. When that happens, you get that southeasterly wind flow, and a series of low pressure areas and troughs to the north will try to sink a little further to the south, a reinforcing shot of drier, cooler air kind of sinking southward. And what that will do will kind of chip away at the effectiveness of that high pressure ridge and allow a better chance of showers and thunderstorms starting in the afternoon. So for today, a few more clouds around, a bit more humidity. We're back into the 70s for dew points. And we'll see a few more showers around in the afternoon, occurring mostly inland. One or two of the showers may work their way a little bit closer to the coast, particularly around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor and around the mouth of Tampa Bay. You may get a little bit better chance of seeing some showers there because of some localized breezes that build. But otherwise, it's mostly going to be an inland event. Over the next several days, though, that southeast wind will push a few more of those showers closer to the coast. Southeast switching to southwest winds, returning to the northeast to southeast tomorrow, 2-foot seas and a light chop. Nice day for boating out there. We'll have to watch over the next couple of days for increasing thunderstorm chances, where seas, of course, could get higher in the vicinity of those thunderstorms in the afternoon. We had an 11:53 low tide. High tide comes at 5:04, so we're much closer to the low tide. Another low tide comes after the midnight hour at 1:44. Beach and boating forecast calls for a continuation of those high UV indexes today and slightly warmer temperatures along the coast. In the forecast takes us up to about a 50% rain chance by Friday and Saturday. Scott?
John, thank you. A Venice nurse practitioner who doesn't have to ask a lot about family history. That's because she's been there so long. She probably treated their parents and maybe even the grandparents as well. ABC 7's Linda Carson has this amazing Suncoast woman's story.
Donna Pachoda's actual name is Madonna.
Mom had 4 miscarriages before me, and our family was very Catholic. And Mom said novenas, prayers, that if I survived, if this pregnancy survived, she would name me after Madonna.
She's from Detroit, Michigan.
I went to Wayne State University, became an RN, and worked for 10 years.
Her career was advancing, but she wasn't happy. She wanted to work one-on-one with patients. Her husband was in the family construction business. Then the construction business nosedived.
By divine intervention, we had the opportunity to move to Florida. I transferred to USF and was in the first graduating class of family nurse practitioners, which was exactly what I wanted.
But nobody knew what nurse practitioners were back then. But the practice she worked for took a chance on her.
They didn't think that older people would want to see a nurse practitioner. And I was to pick up the overflow of what the doctors couldn't see that day. Turned out that people kept coming back to me, and I kind of unintentionally developed my own practice.
And it's still flourishing to this day.
It's a perfect job for me. It's a perfect town, and I was still able to be room mom and be on the school boards and be involved in my boys' classes.
And her husband got an opportunity.
The city wanted to do something with the pier. It was just a concession stand and a bait shop at the time. And they put it out to bid, and we actually lost the first bid. Somebody else bid us out, but that fell through, and they came back to us.
And both sons joined them in the business, so they bought their partners out.
Mike decided it was time to grow, so we were working on the plans for Finn's, which was going to be our upscale restaurant. At the same time, the county needed somebody to take over Snook Haven.
And now both Finn's and Snook Haven are thriving. And Donna and Mike have their kids and grandkids right here. Donna's life lesson is from her dad.
He always told me, Donna, you can accomplish anything as long as you're willing and able to work hard for it.
Donna says she did not plan her incredible life journey, but she couldn't be happier the way it worked out. She's been able to combine family, business, community, and service to others to build a great life and to make life better for all of those around her. Linda Carson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Linda, thank you so much. Coming up, an anchor that's been the face of a network evening news show for years is apparently getting pushed out of that position. And it's one joke from Kathy Griffin that many people did not find funny. We'll have details next in entertainment news.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes. A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar, A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline Matter.
And I'm Ray Collins. June 1st kicks off the start of the hurricane season.
We'll have advice from local emergency officials they're giving to the public to make sure we're prepared for the potential storm season. That's tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
June 1st also starts our rainy season, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more of that wet stuff around. We'll talk about our rain chances.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
You know what I like to do is I like to sop up the juice.
You have to.
With good toasty bread.
I will just drink that. So you have that beer flavor and the pancetta, some scallions, leeks, clams,
and the corn
potatoes.
is so good too, right? At this time of year?
It's just started. Scott and I were just talking about that. It's just starting to come in. My favorite time is the beginning of July for corn on the cob. And you start getting that really good sweet corn from New England. And John, all you need to do is give you some blueberry ice cream for dessert, and you're
that sounds like the deal right there. Remind everybody the recipe is on our website.
Right. On www.mysuncoast.com. Click on the dining page and don't forget to enter. Win a gift card for $50 towards dining at one of our local restaurants. We'll send it back to you, Scott, and we'll send you save you a few clams and corn.
All right. Thank you so much. Kathy Griffin is apologizing for some distasteful photos of President Donald Trump. A celebrity photographer released photos he shot of her holding up a bloody head that resembled the president. The Secret Service didn't find it funny, saying they don't have the luxury of knowing a person's intent and that each alleged and perceived threat must be investigated. The comedian went on Twitter to apologize about it yesterday.
I'm a comic. I cross the line. I move the line, then I cross it. I went way too far. The image is too disturbing. I understand how it offends people. It wasn't funny. I get it. I've made a lot of mistakes in my career. I will continue. I ask your forgiveness.
Griffin asked the photographer to take the picture down. The president tweeted about the incident this morning, saying Griffin should be ashamed of herself and that his children are having a hard time with it. Olivia Newton-John is once again battling breast cancer. The singer and actress had initially postponed some tour dates in the U.S. and Canada because of back pain. But she's revealing the pain is actually breast cancer, which is metastasized to the bones of the base of her spine. Newton-John says she'll be undergoing radiation therapy, and she plans to be back on stage later this year. Before now, she had been cancer-free for the past 25 years. CBS will be looking for a new anchor for its evening news. Scott Pelley is reportedly out as the news anchor and will be working full-time now at 60 Minutes. Sources say his departure is due in part to his struggle to generate ratings for the news program. CBS Evening News Show is a distant third to ABC and NBC in the evening news rankings. Kerry Russell is officially a Hollywood star, the actress receiving her very own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Russell started her career on the all-new Mickey Mouse Club on the Disney Channel in the early 1990s and then rose to fame as the lead character in the TV show Felicity. She says she hopes her star doesn't mean Hollywood is done with her because she still has a lot more left to do.
It's gonna get hit.
Well, apparently a horse got loose in the Big Apple yesterday. Cell phone video captured Goldie the carriage horse galloping around the Big Apple, cutting off cars, running across streets. Amazingly, she was able to dodge the busy New York City traffic. Goldie was eventually returned to her stable after running 11 blocks. The carriage driver says she probably wanted some exercise after a slow day at work.
Yikes.
See
Glad
just about
she's
anything.
okay.
Huh?
That's it's New York.
Yeah, yeah.
Another hot day here on the Suncoast with daytime highs again approaching the 90-degree mark. Over the next several days, we'll be close to the 90-degree mark. Then hopefully a little extra rainfall will kind of try and break the heat just a little bit, which would be terrific. I think everybody would agree to that. Plus, it'll help all of our lawns as well.
Definitely.
Notice how much faster the grass is growing now with just a little bit of rain.
Yes.
And hey, a quick reminder, tomorrow starts Savor Sarasota. 79 restaurants involved. Wow. You can go and dine at any one of them 3-course dinners, $32. Good deal.
Okay. Thank you, Judy. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again today at 5.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.